How to make a woman choose you, even if she has other options. Old Stoic wisdom. The best thing to hold on to in life is each other. Audrey Hepburn. In today's digital age, where Instagram, dating apps, and social media offer countless ways to connect, the competition for a woman's attention is more fierce than ever. In fact, a woman can attract more men in a single week than your grandfather likely encountered throughout his youth. The hard truth: you're not just competing with one guy, you're competing with dozens. In this world, simply being the nice guy is not a winning strategy. It often leads straight to the dreaded friend zone. Here's something most men refuse to acknowledge. Women don't often choose the man who's merely good enough. They choose the man who stands apart, the one who stirs something deep within her, something beyond logic and reason. It's the man who makes her feel things that no other man can make her feel. The mistake most men make is in trying to win her over by doing more, giving more, and pleasing her endlessly, all while she's texting someone who isn't trying nearly as hard. If you want to win her heart, you must stop thinking like a competitor and start thinking like the prize. You need to understand the psychology of attraction, not the fairy tale version, but the raw, honest truth about what women really desire. This isn't about manipulation. It's about embodying the qualities that naturally draw a woman in. In this guide, we'll explore how to shift her focus, energy, and desire toward you, no matter how many other men seem to have the upper hand. By the end, you'll not only understand what makes a woman choose you, but you'll know how to make her feel like there's no other option. By mastering these principles, you won't just be another face in the crowd, you'll be the one she can't forget. 1. Stop competing with other men. Don't fall into the trap of competition. Too many men lose a woman's interest, not because they're unattractive, but because they start competing. The moment you start comparing yourself to other men or adjusting your behavior to outdo them, you've already lost. Why? Because it screams insecurity. It shows her that you see those other men as threats, or worse, better than you. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who doesn't believe in his own value. Stop measuring yourself against others. It's that simple. When you start competing, you're essentially placing her on a pedestal and lowering your own worth. You're saying, "I'm just another option. Pick me, please," and that mindset. It's the quickest way to fade into the background, just another guy in the crowd. But here's the truth. The men women truly choose are not the ones racing. They're the ones who don't even know there's a race happening. These are the men who are so immersed in their own lives, focused on their passions, their goals, their growth, that they couldn't care less about who's texting her. They aren't constantly scrambling for her attention, and that's exactly what makes them magnetic. The old Stoic wisdom reminds us that true power lies in self-mastery, not in competing for validation. Think about it. When you stop competing, you create an aura of mystery and scarcity. She'll wonder why you're not bending over backward like everyone else. That curiosity, it starts to work in your favor. She'll ask herself, what makes him different? And just like that, you've turned the tables. Instead of you chasing her, she's now chasing you. Let's be clear. You don't need to try hard. You don't need to send her good morning texts every single day. Imagine you know she's talking to 2 other guys, and while they're bombarding her with endless texts, you focus on your life, your career, your fitness, your hobbies. When you do reach out, it's with intention, with energy, with something to offer. You might go 2 days without texting her, then invite her to something you were already planning. That's the essence of Stoic principles, living a life so fulfilling that you're not desperate for external validation. Don't mistake this for being cold or distant. It's not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about recognizing your worth, having an iron mind that doesn't crumble under pressure or comparison. You must cultivate a life so rich, so full of your own value, that it makes her want to earn a place in it. The man who doesn't compete, who simply is, becomes the man she's most curious about, and curiosity. That's the spark that leads her to choose you. Be that man. The man who isn't swayed by the competition, who stands grounded in his own identity, driven by his own purpose. Because when you stop competing, you don't just win her interest, you win her respect. And respect is the foundation of true attraction. That is the Stoic way. 2. Be the prize, not the pursuer. Most men grow up with the mistaken belief that to win a woman's heart, they need to chase after her, prove themselves at every turn, and constantly show her why she's lucky to have their attention. However, the most successful men in relationships, those who naturally attract the right women, are the ones who flip this narrative. They don't chase, they don't beg, they don't prove anything. Instead, they let the woman come to them. They know they are the prize. Let me tell you something, and I want you to remember this. You must see yourself as the prize. That's the starting point. Everything changes when you approach relationships from this perspective. The truth is, women are instinctively drawn to men who embody confidence, who see their own value, and who don't chase after validation. If you continually chase her, she starts to see you as a man who lacks confidence, someone who is willing to hand over his value too easily. No one wants that. You must stop acting desperate. In practical Stoicism, the idea of self-control and self-worth plays a crucial role. The Stoics understood that it's not what others do that defines us, but how we respond to it. If you constantly look for validation through her attention or approval, you're failing to recognize your own worth. That's not Stoic thinking. The Stoic rules tell us to value ourselves first. It's a mindset that frees us from emotional dependency on others, particularly women. When you stop chasing, you stop over-investing too early, you stop scrambling to earn her affection by being overly attentive, over-complimenting, or over-explaining why she should choose you. Instead, you let her see that you bring value into her life. And this isn't about arrogance. Arrogance is rooted in insecurity. It's about pretending to be something you're not. But when you see yourself as a true prize, it's not about putting on an act. It's about your genuine belief in your worth. That's where the power lies. Think about the most expensive brands, Louis Vuitton, Rolex, or Ferrari. Do they beg you to buy their products? Absolutely not. They don't need to. They know their worth, and they know people will line up for their products. You must carry that same energy. Your time, attention, and presence are valuable commodities, not easily given out to anyone who asks. And when you approach relationships with this mindset, women notice. This is a classic example of what we can call practical Stoicism, understanding that your own time and emotional energy are resources that should not be freely given away. A man who embodies this concept doesn't simply run after a woman. He makes her realize that she's lucky to be a part of his world. This is the difference between the pursuer and the prize. The pursuer is constantly trying to prove his worth, proving he's worthy of her time, affection, and attention. The prize, however, makes her prove that she's worthy of his. That shift, right there, is what changes everything. By positioning yourself as the prize, you create a situation where she feels compelled to invest emotionally. Once she has invested, she's far less likely to walk away. When she's the one chasing, her investment becomes deeper. The more she invests emotionally, the more likely she is to stick around. That's how relationships thrive. When you're the prize, you shift the dynamic in your favor. Think about the way you plan your life. You must be the one with the life she wants to be a part of. Instead of constantly bending over backward to accommodate her needs or rushing to meet her demands, you set your own terms. Be the man who has his own schedule, his own pursuits, his own passions. If she wants to be part of it, she has to prove she belongs there. For example, let's say you're going to an art show on Friday. Instead of asking her to come along, instead of begging for her company, you tell her, "I'm going to the art show on Friday. Join me if you want." Notice how you're not asking for anything. You're offering her an opportunity to be part of your world. This subtly shifts the dynamic. It shows that your life is already full, and she must make the effort to step into it. This is where Stoic wisdom comes into play. The paths of wisdom that the Stoics teach remind us that we should never depend on external validation for our sense of worth. You must believe in your own value, regardless of how others behave. When you embody this, the energy you radiate becomes magnetic. You are the prize, not because you're perfect, but because you believe in your own value. In the end, it's about mindset. It's about recognizing your worth and owning it. And most importantly, it's about having the confidence to know that if she's truly the right woman for you, she'll recognize your value too. So, don't chase her, let her chase you. Remember, you are the prize, not the pursuer. 3. Control your emotional availability. Mastering emotional availability is one of the most powerful tools you can wield in the pursuit of a woman's attention. And it's a lesson drawn from the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This is a philosophy you must apply to your emotions. Giving a woman constant access to your emotions too soon is a surefire way to diminish her attraction. When you make yourself too available emotionally, you signal that you have nothing left to offer, that your emotional energy is endless, and that there's no challenge in winning your affection. But that's not how you win her. You win her by controlling your emotional availability, just like a Stoic warrior controls his impulses. A man who opens the emotional floodgates too soon may feel he's being honest or caring, but in reality, he's doing the opposite. He's taking away the mystery, the very thing that sparks her intrigue. She doesn't want constant access to you. She wants to feel like you're a rare treasure she has to earn. The man who texts and calls all day, sharing every detail, will eventually bore her. Why? Because predictability destroys desire. Think about it when you were excited about someone. You weren't thrilled by their availability 24/7. You were intrigued by the space, the mystery, the unknown. That is what you must create in your interactions. You must be present, but not always reachable. You must share yourself, but not immediately. Let her feel the pull of wanting to know more, not everything at once. Controlled emotional availability isn't about being cold or indifferent. It's about balance. You remain interested, but you don't overcommit emotionally. By doing this, you're sending a clear message your emotional energy is valuable, not easily given, and certainly not offered freely. When she feels the scarcity, she'll value your presence even more. This is the essence of Stoicism, mastering what you can control, and not giving away your most precious resources without discernment. Epictetus teaches us that we should not live in reaction to the desires of others, but remain centered in our own principles. Let her earn your emotional investment, and she will come to understand that being with you is not a given, but a privilege. It's this principle of controlled emotional availability that makes you irresistible. As the Stoics say, the greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. You must make her feel the glory of earning your attention. This controlled approach ensures she sees you as a man of value, not someone she can take for granted. And in doing so, you make yourself the one she can't stop thinking about, the one she chooses above all others. This is how you win in love. The Stoic way. This is how you master your emotional availability and how you become the man she cannot forget. If you find this valuable, comment below and share it with someone who could benefit. Don't forget to subscribe for more wisdom. Comment to remember, I control my emotional availability and make it valuable. 4. Never be too accessible. Let's face it, too much availability isn't attractive. It might seem like you're showing her how much you care, but in truth, it broadcasts something else entirely. It says, I have nothing else going on. Think about it. Every time she calls, you answer immediately. Every time she texts, you drop everything to respond right away. Every time she's free, you're somehow free too. Does that make you seem committed? No, it makes you look desperate. It signals that you're not in demand anywhere else in life. Here's the secret: attraction is about perceived value. People gravitate toward what's scarce and take for granted what's always available. When you're constantly accessible, you take away the thrill of having to earn your attention. There's no chase, no challenge, no feeling that being with you is special. Instead, it feels like an automatic, unremarkable part of her day. If you want to capture her attention and admiration, you need to make yourself a rarity. This doesn't mean playing childish mind games or deliberately ignoring her calls to manipulate her feelings. No, that's a rookie mistake. It means having a life that's so full, work, hobbies, friendships, personal goals, that you simply can't be at her beck and call 24/7. When you do make yourself available, it should feel deliberate, intentional. It should feel earned. Your presence, your time, your attention, they should be valuable commodities, not things she can take for granted. Here's where Stoic wisdom comes into play. The old Stoic principles teach us that true strength lies in our ability to control our emotions and our time. An iron mind doesn't drop everything just to meet the whims of others. A man with Stoic principles doesn't let himself become a servant to anyone, especially when it comes to his time. He's deliberate, measured, and selective in how he spends his moments. When you're the man who has a life, a purpose, and a schedule that doesn't revolve around her every whim, it signals that you're someone of value. Women are drawn to men who have options, who are busy building their future, who aren't waiting by the phone. That's the kind of man who becomes irresistible. You are the prize, not a last-minute option, and you make that clear through your actions. You must realize that being available at her every beck and call does nothing but diminish your value. You make yourself scarce, and in doing so, you become the most sought after. In short, don't make yourself too accessible. Don't be the man who has nothing but time on his hands. Make her earn your attention. Be someone who's valued because your presence is precious, not because it's expected. And remember, the Stoic principles you embody, your iron mind, your controlled, thoughtful approach to relationships, will always make you stand out in the crowd. The most attractive thing you can do is show that your life is already full, and she's lucky to be a part of it. 5. Create subtle jealousy. Let's face it, most men are terrified of jealousy. They fear that if a woman feels even a hint of it, she'll storm off in anger and leave them in the dust. But here's the secret that very few men seem to grasp. When jealousy is used subtly, it can ignite a spark of attraction like nothing else. It reminds her that you are in demand. It shows her that other women notice you, and, suddenly, she realizes she's not the only one who could have you. But here's the problem. Too many men make the fatal mistake of acting as though they've become invisible to all other women the moment they start liking one. They shut off their natural charm, they stop talking to other women, and they emotionally chain themselves to one person. It's like they're putting their own appeal in a box and locking it away. You know what? That's not just a mistake. It's a disaster. Let me be blunt. Stop doing that. You're killing your own appeal. And in the process, you're missing out on a powerful, subtle force that can work wonders in your favor. Here's the truth. Women are attracted to men. Other women want. It's not rocket science. It's human nature. If nobody else wants you, she will eventually start asking herself, why do I want him? It's simple psychology. Creating subtle jealousy doesn't mean flirting right in her face or being disrespectful to her. That's childish. What you want to do is live in a way that naturally shows you are a man who's valued by others. Maybe you just exchange a friendly word with the waitress. Maybe you post a photo at a social event where you're clearly having a good time, surrounded by friends. These are small, almost invisible signals that you are a man who's socially desirable. And these little cues trigger something deep within her, a competitive instinct she can't ignore. Don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting you manipulate anyone. Far from it. But if you make yourself look like her only option, you're just making yourself replaceable. When you act as if she's your only choice, you lose your power, you lose your mystery. But when you subtly remind her that others notice you, it creates tension, the kind of tension that attracts. The reality is that attraction thrives on a bit of uncertainty. A little bit of jealousy keeps her on her toes, never too sure if she's the only one in your life. And that's a good thing, because when a woman knows that other women might be interested in you, she will fight harder to keep your attention. She won't take you for granted. Remember this. A man who is wanted by others doesn't have to beg for a woman's time. He doesn't have to plead for her affection. She'll choose him, because deep down, she knows that if she doesn't, someone else will. You see, this concept isn't some trick. It's practical stoicism at work. By embracing subtle jealousy, you are acting in accordance with a deeper, timeless wisdom. The Stoic rules that help you navigate relationships with a strong sense of self. You're making yourself a prize worth fighting for, without cheap tricks or manipulative games. You're not just seeking attention, you're commanding respect. And that's where the true power lies. Here's the kicker: by creating a bit of jealousy, you don't just increase her attraction to you, you actually enhance your own sense of value. In the ancient paths of wisdom, men who could keep their emotions in check, who didn't play desperate games, were the ones who attracted the highest regard. So, why not use that same principle in modern relationships? Why not stand firm in the knowledge that your value doesn't hinge on one woman choosing you, but on the fact that you are desired by many? So, stop suffocating your charm. Don't be afraid of a little competition. Embrace it. Create subtle jealousy, not by being overt, but by simply being the man who's already wanted. That's the kind of man who wins, in love and in life. And if you find today's content very interesting, please give me a word of encouragement by commenting "very interesting" in the comments section. That is a huge motivation for us. Thank you. 6. Show you have other options. You must understand this fundamental truth when a woman knows she's your only option. The attraction fades. Too many men fall into the trap of acting as if they have no choice but to be with her, locking in on her from the moment they meet. This mindset suffocates attraction. Women don't desire a man who acts like he's been waiting his whole life for her, one who places all his happiness and hope on her alone. It's not a game. It's about showing you have options. You need a life that provides you with abundance, not scarcity. If she's the only woman who will give you attention, you're not coming from a place of strength. You're coming from a place of desperation. And let me tell you, women can sense desperation from a mile away, and it repels them. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This isn't just about possessions. It's about how you view your own life and the value you place on yourself. When you have other options, whether it's other women, friends, hobbies, or business opportunities, you don't cling. You don't wait anxiously by the phone for a reply. You don't fall into panic mode when she's busy for a few days. Instead, you stay composed, calm, and confident. Your happiness is not dependent on one woman. It's independent, grounded, and rooted in your own value. Women are drawn to men who are strong enough to walk away at any time, not because they want them to, but because it speaks to their power, self-worth, and confidence. They see a man who is in demand, a man who has options, and that makes him irresistible. Let me make this clear. If you've shut off all other possibilities in your life just to focus on one woman, you've made yourself too easy. She no longer has to work for your attention. You've given her nothing to chase, and in doing so, you rob yourself of the power you truly deserve. Having options isn't about disrespect. It's about building a life that is so rich and full that when you choose her, she understands she's chosen from abundance. She understands she could be one of many, but you've picked her because you value her. This is the essence of Stoicism, embracing freedom and not allowing anyone or anything to be the sole determiner of your happiness. He who is brave is free, said Seneca. And you, too, must be brave. You must free yourself from the shackles of neediness and dependence. You must be the man who lives with options and is unafraid to walk away if necessary. You are the one who gets to decide. You are the one who wins. 7. Create freedom in the relationship. Don't let the chains of dependency bind you, because the key to keeping a woman attracted lies in creating freedom, both for her and for yourself. In a world full of options and distractions, the one thing that will make you stand out is the power of independence. Women are naturally drawn to men who have a life of their own, ambitions, passions, and goals that extend beyond just the relationship. This is where the old Stoic wisdom comes in the iron mind does not cling. It is firm in its own purpose, yet free to engage with the world without losing itself. Don't be the man who loses his identity by constantly being at her side or depending on her for emotional fulfillment. If you do, you'll suffocate her with your neediness. That is not the way to attract or keep her. A relationship should never feel like a cage, but rather a platform for both partners to flourish as individuals. Be someone who respects her independence. Allow her the space to pursue her career, hobbies, friendships, and personal growth. Women are drawn to men who recognize and honor that their partner is a whole person, with her own desires, dreams, and purpose. When you show her that you respect her freedom and that she is valued for who she is, not just as an extension of your life, it creates a deep sense of admiration. But here's the twist: you, too, must have your own path to follow. Don't lose sight of your own growth. Stay focused on developing yourself, whether that's advancing in your career, keeping in shape, learning new skills, or investing in personal development. When you're constantly evolving, you become a man who is hard to ignore, and not someone she feels obligated to save or carry emotionally. That's the Stoic principle at play. The strength to be independent, yet connected, to grow individually while supporting each other. Now, I'll give it to you straight. You must guard against being so wrapped up in each other's lives that you forget your own existence. The key to attraction is the balance between togetherness and individuality. The Old Stoic wisdom reminds us that true strength is rooted in self-sufficiency. When you maintain your own space, your own passions, and your own life, you become a man of mystery and depth, a man who doesn't need her to complete him, but rather wants her to add value to an already fulfilling existence. The more space you give her to breathe, the more she will breathe life into the relationship, because she'll see that you don't need her. You want her. You'll stop being a part of the scenery and start being someone who she admires, someone who adds to her world without taking away from it. Your independence will fuel the attraction. It will create a dynamic where both of you are growing, both of you are evolving, and both of you are enjoying the journey of life together, while keeping your own identity intact. This is the power of freedom in a relationship. Not only does it make the bond stronger, it also makes the connection more profound and meaningful. In the end, the iron mind thrives by embracing independence, by refusing to cling, by staying true to oneself, and by giving the other person the space to grow. That is the essence of the Old Stoic wisdom, a relationship that supports growth, where both partners thrive individually and together. So, be free, respect each other's freedom, and watch the attraction between you grow stronger and deeper with each passing day. If you want to master the art of attraction and keep her coming back for more, remember, true strength lies in creating freedom, not dependency. Give each other room to grow and thrive as individuals. Drop a comment now. I am my own man, and I respect her independence. Like this video, subscribe for more wisdom, and remind yourself daily, true attraction thrives on freedom, not possession. 8. Continuously develop yourself. Don't settle. Be the man who is constantly evolving. Women aren't just drawn to the guy who has his life together today. They're captivated by the man who is relentlessly striving to better himself, to reach new heights, to grow. A man who is dedicated to self-improvement in every facet of his life, be it intellectually, emotionally, or professionally. Holds a magnetic pull. If you're someone who sets ambitious goals, works tirelessly toward them, and refuses to accept mediocrity, you will naturally attract attention. Women are irresistibly drawn to men who embody a dynamic energy of growth. But it's not just about having a fancy job title or a polished bank account. It's about holistic growth, about emotional intelligence, physical health, and your social skills. Women don't just want a man who can hold a conversation. They want someone who is emotionally intelligent, self-aware, and in control of his health. When you commit to bettering yourself, you communicate something powerful that you value personal growth, not just for your own benefit, but because you understand that improvement elevates the relationship. Practical Stoicism teaches that true strength comes from within, and that is what women find alluring. A man who works on himself not out of desperation, but out of self-respect and understanding of his own potential. Imagine this. You're not just another guy who showed up. You're a man who's been on a journey of self-discovery, constantly learning and evolving. When you embrace this mindset, you don't just become more attractive, you become a source of inspiration. Women want to be around men who push themselves, who are capable of great things because they see the world not as it is, but as it could be. This energy is infectious. She will start to look at you differently, not as someone who's just trying to win her over, but as someone who is focused on becoming the best version of himself. Don't misunderstand this. It's not about impressing her. It's about showing respect for yourself and your life's potential. Stoic rules advocate for growth through challenge and introspection. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by your actions today and the journey you undertake tomorrow. This is where the magic lies, when you start living your life with the awareness that each step you take toward improvement makes you more valuable, not just as a partner, but as a human being. Paths of wisdom show us that the pursuit of excellence in everything we do brings balance and richness into relationships. When you're fully committed to personal growth, your confidence, ambition, and purpose shine through. This is what women are truly attracted to. It's not about having it all figured out. It's about showing up every day with the intent to be better. It's about mastering new skills, acquiring knowledge, maintaining your health, and always pushing yourself toward bigger, audacious goals. Women are magnetized by men who are driven and passionate, those who actively seek new ways to grow and improve. This commitment to growth makes you the type of man who doesn't just attract women for a fleeting moment. No, you become the kind of man who keeps her invested for the long haul. Why? Because you're always evolving, both as a partner and as an individual. And here's the kicker. This kind of constant improvement doesn't just enhance your own life. It enriches the lives of those around you, especially in your relationships. As you prioritize growth in all areas of your life, you naturally make space for her to grow alongside you, and that creates something truly special. So, remember, the Stoic rules are not just about enduring life's struggles, they're about improving through them. Personal growth isn't just a strategy for attracting a woman, it's a strategy for becoming the best version of yourself. Always evolve, always aim higher, and watch how this mindset attracts not just women, but the best kind of relationships. 9. Finally, and most importantly, be willing to walk away. If you want to make a woman choose you, even when she has other options, there's one principle that will instantly change everything. Be willing to walk away. Too many men fail here. They stick around, tolerating disrespect, being undervalued, or treated like an afterthought. They think staying loyal proves their worth, but in reality, it only shows weakness. You see, when a woman knows you'll tolerate bad behavior, she'll continue to take you for granted. Why would she treat you any better? There's no consequence to her actions. The men women respect are those who have clear boundaries and enforce them, even if it means walking away. Walking away doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself too much to settle for less than you deserve. It reflects self-respect, and self-respect is magnetic. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The man who says, "I'm not okay with this, and I'm prepared to walk if it doesn't change," is the one who earns her respect. And respect, as every wise man knows, is the foundation of lasting attraction. Let me make this crystal clear: if you're afraid of losing her, you've already lost your power. The moment you start acting like she's the only woman in the world, you lose everything that attracted her to you in the first place. That power you hold, the ability to walk away, is the ultimate leverage. It shows that you value yourself above all else. You're not in her life because you're afraid of being alone. You're in her life because she meets your standard. Remember this. As Epictetus would teach us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. A woman will always have options, but she will only fight to keep the man who makes her feel that she must measure up to his standards, not the other way around. If she feels you can survive without her, she'll fight to be the one you choose. If she feels you can't, she'll keep you as a backup. You must become the man who embodies power and control over your own life. When you stop fearing loss, you'll find that you're the one women desire. Stoicism teaches us that winning in life and winning in love is about having control over your choices and your standards. If you follow this path, you'll not only master the art of attraction, but master life itself. Hey, thanks for watching. I really hope this gave you some useful insight into how to stand out, even when there are other options on the table. Now, I want to hear from you honestly. Have you ever been in a situation where you were competing for a woman's attention? Or maybe you realized you gave her all your energy too soon? Drop your experience in the comments. I'll read them, respond to them, and yes, I might even reach out directly. Here's something to keep in mind. Remember, the men who win aren't the ones chasing, they're the ones leading. So, take a step back, focus on your own path, and let her follow if she's genuinely interested. I'll see you then, in the next video. Take care and keep leading.